Justin Bieber has been in the business for a long time, and he knows better than anyone how to spot an evil person, which is why he wanted nothing to do with music executive David Blono. They had a big business deal that was in full action until Justin discovered that David had been linked to two women who mysteriously died the same exact way at the same exact hotel in Miami. Laura and Camila have both been completely forgotten about until today. So let's get into it. We're going to be doing a deep dive into a man named David Blono. He is a music executive and once upon a time, one of Justin Bieber's business partners until Justin decided to back out from doing business with him when he became a person of interest in a murder case. Now let's get our disclaimers out the way. I don't know if David is a murderer, and I'm not going to say that in this video. I don't want to get myself in trouble. He's been cleared of all charges, but I've gone onto the internet, collected a bunch of screenshots, and there's a really disturbing story here. There are two women who were aspiring artists who were both unalived in very similar ways. Now, if you were to go and look at medical reports, I'm sure they'll say that these women overdosed or something like that. But after gathering a bunch of different stories and screenshots, I might be telling you guys a different story. One that involves a man who was cheating on his wife and using his role in the music industry to take advantage of these women who just happened to end up dead. Now, again, this is not me saying that he did anything, but let's go ahead and see what's been reported online. Like I mentioned earlier, the way I came across David's name is because Justin did not want to do business with him. He had this business deal involving Scooter Braun, Ryan Good, Judah Smith, and David Blono. But Justin was scared away from doing this deal because David was mentioned in reports of a mysterious, in my opinion, a mysterious death of this aspiring singer named Lozano. Now again, David was cleared by police, but Justin said that if he were to go into business with these guys, that David needs to get off board. Scooter Braun defended him and Justin decided to back out. Let's take a look at this DailyMail article that talks about the death of Laura. So this was dated back in April 2023. The report says a married music advisor who has worked with big names including Drake and Post Malone said that he had nothing to do with the death of a 34-year-old woman found dead in a Miami hotel room. David, who's 46 years old, was hanging out with Laura in a room at the SKETCHY Hotel on March 29th. Now, I don't know why these two were in a hotel room together, but he decided to leave the hotel room at 4:30 a.m. At that point, David had left Laura at the hotel room and she was found unresponsive in a bathtub with an unknown substance at 1 p.m. that same day. So this music executive and this aspiring singer are in Miami at this hotel room hanging out, and he ditches at 4:30 in the morning. She's found dead at 1 p.m. That's what we know so far, and I want you guys to remember this hotel, the SKETCHY Hotel, because it's going to come up again. And remember how he left at 4:30 a.m.? So Laura was pronounced dead at the scene. The cause of her death remains unconfirmed. The Miami police said very quickly that David was not a person of interest in the case. David, who's married with children and lives in LA, said that it was a terrible tragedy, but he was not there when she died. So David said that Laura was an aspiring musician and that he arranged for her to have her own room in his hotel room, and there's not much more to it. So I'm assuming it's a large hotel room that has several different separate rooms, because why would she be staying with her boss? He said, quote, "I really liked her. I was helping her make music. It was a terrible tragedy. I had vacated the room in the earlier part of the morning, so I wasn't there when they found her. It was really sad. She was someone I really liked. She was a good person." He honestly seems rather calm for being in a hotel room with someone who had just died. Also, did he see her at 4:30 in the morning when he left? What condition was she in? There's still a lot of questions. David claims that Laura was there because she was recording music the night before. Quote, "She's a client and she was going to sign a record deal with me. I helped her make music. I really don't want to go too deeply into it honestly, it was a terrible tragedy. Well, it's convenient that David doesn't really want to get too deep into it. Now, it looks like this is the record label that he is working with, NKSFB LLC. It's a business management firm. Now, I found a post on Lipstick Alley that asked a lot of good questions. Quote, hotel security footage revealed that David left just after 4:30 in the morning of March 30th. Police believe the incident occurred between the hours of 7 a.m. and 1:09 p.m. the next day. Somebody asked, did she die a few hours later or the day after that? I mean, the article right there isn't quoting the dates right. Did she die like on March 30th? I'm assuming March 30th. It was interesting that the victim had died 2 weeks before this initial report came out. There really wasn't many reports about Laura, someone who's an aspiring artist. Somebody else mentioned that this hotel room, I mean, I think they primarily have one-bedroom suites. So why is he helping her make music in a one-bedroom suite that he had left at 4:30 a.m.? Why did he fail to notify the hotel that he had already checked out? Maybe he knew what they would find. That's why he escaped the scene, in my opinion. When David was asked why he was at her room at such odd hours, he said, I let her stay there. There's not much more to it. Remember? He said that she was found whenever I had left, and there's not much time between a potential death window. Like if he left a little bit after 4:30 a.m. and she could have died at 7 a.m., that's only about 3 hours. And I've seen other detectives be far more off. He says, from what I was told, she was found much later in the day. I mean, 1 p.m., I think it was 1:22 p.m. when she was found, and that's because the hotel called David and said, hey, like you haven't checked out, like what's up? It's past checkout. And at that point, he was already gone, so they went upstairs, checked, and she was dead. So really, that's not many hours between the time that he had left, and he's probably trying to, I mean, in my opinion, allegedly trying to make that gap seem even bigger. It looks like hotel security visited the room, and they found her inside, and fire and EMS were called at 1:22 p.m. Police said that when they entered the room, there was an unknown substance in various areas of the property. We don't know what kind of like drug this could be. Was David aware of this? Now, David is actually married to, or was married, not to give you guys a spoiler. So he was married to this woman named Stacy, who is a medical doctor. But as I started to do research into her background, I learned that these two just recently went through a divorce, which is interesting because, I mean, he's found with this, I mean, he wasn't found, but he was with this woman who had died, and now his wife is leaving him. And that's not just the only woman. It looks like their divorce was handled last summer. So what does Stacy know about this man, and why did she leave him? In my opinion, I think that there's a situation where Stacy found out about another woman named Camila, and that was the final straw. Because remember, in March 2023, that situation went down with Laura, and she had passed away, rest in peace, in that hotel room. Well, in August of the same year, we get a very similar story about a woman named Camila Sterling. This woman named Camila Sterling, only 24 years old, was found in a hotel room at the SKETCHY Hotel in Miami, and the room was filled with drugs, soiled bedding, and discarded condom wrappers. Sounds like there was a freak off going on there, with multiple bags of mystery powder identified as pink cocaine. The report claims that she had spent the evening with David Blowno. He's a music partner at the agency NKSFB. David, again, was cleared of any involvement. Hotel cameras captured him leaving at 4:30 in the morning from this same hotel to go back home to his wife and 2 kids. Now, this article claims that whenever David was asked about Camila, he called her a client who was going to sign a record deal with him. But Business Insider found that their relationship ran much deeper. Camila referred to David as her boyfriend in text messages and voice memos, and said that he paid her more than $140,000 to rent a condo in Miami. David also created a record label, a separate record label, to go and house Camila's music. 2 of Camila's friends said it was an open secret that she was dating someone powerful in the music industry who was behind her rise. All of Camila's friends spoke to Insider and decided to remain anonymous, stating that they didn't want to be linked to this case involving such a powerful guy. In 2021, Camila tweeted that 2022 is going to be her year. Time has come to start fulfilling my dreams. Now, she did have a few songs that came out that were going viral on TikTok and things like that. None of them were big hits, but she was making her way there. But in the months before Camilla Sterling's death, something seemed to have shifted in her relationship with her mysterious producer boyfriend. One friend heard that they had broken up and they weren't on good terms. There were text messages between Camilla and her broker about her moving into a cheaper unit within the complex she was renting from because her boyfriend wasn't going to pay her bills anymore. Interestingly enough, bank records show that a week before her death, she had more than $230,000 in her checking account. It's not clear how often Camilla and David met up, this report claims. He later told the police that he was in Miami to meet with his client the week that she had died, though he didn't specify who. Earlier that week, his biggest client, Drake, was spotted by a fan at the SeaTai Hotel, where David, is a regular. The night before she died, Camilla texted her dad to tell her that she had taken her epilepsy medicine. At 11 p.m., a car picked her up from the Paramount Miami World Center, and she arrived at the hotel just after midnight. CCTV footage shows David leaving the hotel at 4:30 that morning, which is interesting. She got there shortly after midnight and they hung out for a couple hours. There was a note left from the hotel's concierge addressed to David that said a Cadillac Escalade had been ordered to pick him up at 4:45 a.m. to take him to the airport. I would be interested in knowing what that hotel worker saw or what other hotel staffers knew. I mean, looking at the room, it was full of drugs and it was completely messed up, and it really does look like a Diddy evidence case file. There were condom wrappers everywhere, and keep in mind, this man is still married to Stacy. It looks like Camilla's demise was ruled an accident caused by a mix of ketamine, MDMA, and 2C, pink cocaine. They should really get those condom wrappers and test whoever's DNA's inside of those. I have a feeling I know who it would be, but David said that he is not going to comment on the harrowing scenes depicted in the photos. So he's not going to let us know if the hotel was a mess before he had left, or was it all after he had left? Did she invite people over and they used the condoms? If we have the CCTV footage, you probably can see who's entering and leaving the hotel room, and it's maybe just David. Here are more pictures of evidence that was gathered. Photos show that the suite's fridge was stocked with alcohol and champagne. Cushions were thrown around the living area with tissue paper everywhere. Ugh, wonder what that wiped up. A bloodied, scrunched up tissue sit among the sheets, and there were more bloodied and pinkish tissues inside the garbage can. The medical examiner's report states that Camilla arrived to the SeaTai Hotel to visit a male just after midnight. The male checked out of his hotel at approximately 4 a.m. I wonder who that male is. The unknown male left for his flight and then exited on hotel security cameras. No other persons are observed going into the room. Now, this almost sounds identical to Laura's case. I mean, it looks like she was found in the bathtub in the fetal position, and there were drugs everywhere, the pink powder, there was a cut up straw. This report claims that Camilla had actually ordered room service at 8 a.m. So this would have been 4 hours after David was gone. And I don't know, I don't know why, but I don't necessarily, this is just my opinion. I am not buying this, but somebody ordered room service at 8 a.m. And they believed it was Camilla for only one person. The person came to go and drop off, the hotel staffer came to drop off the room service, but nobody answered. Entry was made into the room, and at that point, there was nothing in sight until they discovered that Camilla's body was there in the bathroom. Camilla's father opted to have her cremated 2 days after her death. One friend said that we didn't have a funeral or anything. It's like Camilla just disappeared. One person wrote on Reddit, famous music rep, unknown woman artist, contract hotel, 4:30 a.m., unknown substance. And it happened twice. I'm so confused about two very similar situations. And even the screenshots that I've been going through between Camilla and Laura, they seem to blend a little bit. While the article about Camilla seems to have come out in August, there's some articles claiming that it happened back in spring as well, near the time that Laura would have passed away. Now, we don't know what David's involvement is, but I did find a post on Reddit where someone pointed out that a lot of articles have come up about him and his career and his business work, and it seems like it's almost paid for content, PR content going up there and trying to push down any mentions of these Daily Mail articles. But there are still so many gaps in these stories. I would love to see if you guys could research some of these articles I looked up and see if you could figure out the timeline, because they don't seem to have it figured out. At least not the Daily Mail, but thank God they are the only organization that's reported on these two women. If they hadn't, they would just be forgotten. If you guys know me, you know I am nosy. So I decided to go and try to reach out to some people who may know more about Camila or Laura. And I really couldn't find many, but I did find some people on social media on Instagram, and I tried to reach out to them, but nobody responded. Like, I tried to reach out to her family and nobody wanted to talk. But I found the record, like, place that she would go and perform. What's it called? Like the studio where she would go and record her music in Miami. It's called Bay 8 Recording, and I will include these screenshots in the video. But these are screenshots of me reaching out to ask them about Camila. So I wrote in, I'm a reporter who's working on a story about Camila Sterling. If anyone knows her or anything about her, please contact me. And I included my email. Well, I got an email back from someone named Jordan K really quickly. They said, "Hi, Sloan. Thank you for reaching out. The owner of our studio spoke with you or your team last year. We don't have any information at this time. Good luck." So I'm like, wait, okay, the only person I could find who has responded to me about like Camila is this studio, this Jordan K, whoever works at this Bay 8 studio. So I responded saying, "Thank you for the quick response. I really appreciate it." But I noticed that she said that somebody had reached out like last year. And I was like, my mind was working like, wait, who could this person be? Because maybe they know more. Maybe they have been trying to get under the story. I don't know. So I asked them like, "Oh, we've been I honestly like played pretend. I was like, "We've been going through some old things and we've had some changes with our team. So I apologize that we're reaching out to you once again. Do you happen to have the name of who reached out to you last?" I'm thinking it's someone who we are no longer in partnership with, if I'm not mistaken. So I tried to get her to respond to say like, "Oh, it was this person," so I can go and reach out to them and see what they know about these two women. But I never got that information. And that's where the story, the research ends here. But I fear there's a lot more to this, and I don't know what's up with David, and I'm not saying anything in this video, so please don't go sending me a cease and desist letter, because every time I said allegedly, I said my opinion, I showed screenshots. I didn't make this up, but there's a really interesting paper trail, and I feel like there's probably someone, if it's not me, maybe someone else will get to the bottom of it. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in a new video. Bye, guys.